many leagues have restarted after the international break for the Olympics, and there are quite a few injuries that we are going to get into around all of the major leagues. Bundesliga hasn't started yet, so they will be omitted from this list. So we're basically going to be talking about the other big four leagues, and we'll start in the EPL. Got the list right here. Manchester United played Fulham in match day 1, and they were missing quite a few from their bench because of injury. The defender Victor Lindelof is dealing with a muscular injury, so he missed that match. He could be back for the next one, but there's no timeline for his return. Striker Rasmus Højlund was a big one, the Denmark international. He's dealing with a hamstring strain, and he could potentially be back by match day 2, but we'll monitor that situation. Luke Shaw, the English international, is continuously plagued by hamstring injuries, and there's no timeline for him to return. Tyrell Malacia, the defender, he has been dealing with ongoing knee problems, so who's to say when he'll return, but they're hoping to have him back by match day 2. And also the newly acquired defender, center back Linioro for Manchester United, who they recently signed. He's dealing with a foot injury, so he was not available for match day 1. So that was not really good. Fulham was fully fit for this one, so they didn't really deal with some injuries during match day 1. Crystal Palace took on Brentford in their opener. So Crystal Palace was pretty much fit. The only person who was really missing from there was Matheus Franca. He is dealing with a growing strain. 9 times out of 10, he's probably an overstretched adductor muscle, so he could be back for their next match. But also, they did get Chris Richards back, who suffered a minor knock in training, so that was good for them. On Brentford side, Brentford is dealing with a bunch of injuries. The striker they picked up, Igor Thiago, he has a meniscus tear, so he's going to be out for a while. Josh Da Silva and Rico Henry both have knee injuries, so they're going to be out for possibly 1 or 2 matches from what the official site says. And Aaron Hickey, has a thigh injury, so he could be back before the other ones. But I expect him to maybe train before match day 2, and then they'll make a decision based off of that. The mighty Man City is also dealing with 2 big injuries. Very talented young midfielder Oscar Bob, the Norwegian international, he fractured his fibula, so he's going to be out for 3 to 4 months. And of course, Rodri is still out after suffering a hamstring tear at Euro 2024. So who knows when they will get back. They did get back the trio from England, Kyle Walker, John Stones, and I believe Phil Foden. They missed the Community Shield match last weekend, and there was some concern that they wouldn't play against Chelsea. They did. They made the bench, and so that's good to hear. Chelsea was dealing with a couple of injuries as well too. Reece James had a hamstring strain. He was out, so Malagusto started right back. Christopher Nkunku had a muscular injury, and which he's been dealing with a lot of injuries as well too, but he was able to start for at the left wing for Chelsea, so that's good. So, yep, just a lot of injuries around the EPL. La Liga is also dealing with a lot of injuries as well, too, especially two of the bigger clubs in that league. First off is Real Madrid. They suffered a big blow. You probably didn't hear about this, but Eduardo Camavinga, their talented defending midfielder, the French international, he has suffered a grade 2 MCL sprain. Now, he partially tore it, and he's going to be out for about 2 months, so about 8 weeks, and that's about the appropriate timeline for grade 2. So a big blow to Real Madrid. So they'll probably try to bring somebody in. Haven't heard anything, but it's a big blow to their midfield, because he was really one of the heart and souls of their defense as well. But not as bad as their La Liga rival, FC Barcelona. Barcelona came back from the international break just chock full of injuries from the numerous competitions that happened over the summer. One of the biggest ones was their defender, the Uruguayan international Ronald Araujo. During the Copa America, he suffered a really serious right hamstring injury, and it turns out that he actually tore the muscle, and he needs surgery, and he's going to be out for approximately 4 months. The talented pair of Gavi and Pedri are dealing with major injuries, and they are working their way back. Gavi tore the ACL in his right knee. He's making progress, but he's still going to be out for a number of months. Pedri suffered what's known as an internal lateral sprain of his left knee. Now, In your knee, we have two collateral ligaments. The MCL, as was unfortunately what Edward Camavinga has partially torn, and the other one is the LCL, or the lateral collateral ligament. That is the one that Pedri injured in his left knee. He's working hard to get back, but it's going to take a while, and he will be out for a number of months as well too. And of course, Frankie de Jong missed the Euro 2024 entirely with a right ankle sprain. Probably grade 2, and he is still working his way back, and there is no set timeline for him to return. So there are major injuries, especially for the two biggest clubs, arguably the two biggest clubs in La Liga. Ligue 1, pretty much healthy, except we also the biggest injury that came from this week 1 of Ligue 1 was Gonçalo Ramos, the striker for PSG. He was going to step in as the new striker for them, as Kylian Mbappe has gone to Real Madrid. But I think 17-ish minutes into the match, he suffered a serious left ankle injury. He was helped off the pitch, and it turned out to be ankle fracture now, and he's going to miss 3 months because of this. But not only that, according to the official PSG website, it turns out that he suffered a serious injury to his ankle ligament. So he has about a grade 2 ankle sprain on top of a ankle fracture, and you usually see these two together. A sprain and a fracture from a tackle like that, as it got rolled under that defender, pretty much it affects the ankle, and also it fractures kind of like the bony protrusion. If you look down at your ankle and you kind of see a kind of knob that's sticking out, that's called the malleolus, and that's part of the fibula, and that's fractures, and that's the most fractured part of the ankle because it like kind of just sticks out there, and that's easily kicked and tackled into. So and really, malleolus fractures are the most common fractures in football. So that's probably what he has. Probably has a malleolus fracture and a serious grade 2 ankle sprain. He's going to be out for 3 months, and it looks like they may be making a move to sign Victor Osimhen from Napoli, and they're also taking a look at Ademola Lookman from Atalanta. So trying to restock the cupboard because PSG was already low on forwards. And rounding out is Serie A. Now there weren't too many injuries in the opening one, but a big one for the champions, Inter Milan. They're going to be without Canadian international Théophile Buchanan for a while, because he's still recovering and working his way back from the fibula fracture that he suffered. But they're getting two midfielders. They're getting a midfielder and a center back. They're getting Pieter Zielinski. He's coming back from a thigh muscular strain. And the Dutch international center back, Stefan de Vrij, is coming back also from a thigh muscular strain. So, yeah, a lot of injuries around the world of football, but let's hope that these teams can get healthy and make a push for their respective titles in their leagues. And let's just hope that the list doesn't continue to get longer.